Hey everyone, Fervid here, and welcome back to the first 99 for a character story that is already here. Now, welcome to Counterpoint of Life and Death. We're going to be going through Lorentz Butterfly's story. So, what she's all about? I know that she wants to get on top of everything, you know? Be the one in control. Manipulated. She is very manipulative. She predicts everything. I was confused on her character at first here. And she belongs to an organization that is hidden within Laplace that are, I guess, remotely, let's just say they're not very cooperative. And no one knows who she really is. Well, everybody met her, but she has put on many acts. Many aliases that she just comes up with a spot and no one suspects. Unless she tells you that she is Lorentz Butterfly. So let me read the description. Hidden memories, unfinished journeys, faces neither real nor false, rise and fall from death to life. Only a single glance is given. And from what I can tell, she does not care unless she is satisfied. Unless she feels satisfaction, nothing else bothers her. Or nothing else, well, excites her. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to go through the entire story, and if there are mini games, we'll do them all, and we'll do her survey. I'm pretty guessing you've already seen her abilities during the main event story. I do like this. Alright, so let's see. There's 8 of these things, I guess. Alright, Asagi ideal. Let's go. I hope you guys really enjoy the video as well. And if you are new to the channel, please be sure to click the subscribe button to my channel. And I'll tell you the rest of my outro at the end of the video. I better get ready to read. Welcome to the LSCC headquarters. I see you were brought in from one of our partner labs. It won't take long for you to notice we do things differently around here. Rule 1 at Laplace is don't make trouble. The second rule is if you really have to make trouble, make it spectacular. Thank you for the warning, but I'm sure you needn't worry. I don't think you understand just what you're in for yet. Third rule, never, under any circumstances, get on the wrong side of Medicine Pocket. Here we are. The two of them stand before a door ravaged by bite marks. A crooked sheet of paper is taped to it, the title aggressively outlined in colored marker. Join us! The Pre-Storm Atmospheric and Oceanic Circulation Survey Group is now recruiting new members. God, it's a mouthful. It's a compelling research topic, though it's a little strange to see it written out in such a childish way. Oh, don't mind the door. It's only the unfortunate aftermath of a disgruntled researcher. Allow me to remind you of Rule 3. Repairs will be ordered as soon as the budget permits. Should be around 178 business days, give or take. Damn it! What kind of monster electrifies a doorknob? Electrocuting someone doesn't mean you inherit their funding, Medicine Pocket. Anyway, this is your new workspace. At that, the researcher's voice pauses for a moment. That's weird. I could have sworn I heard Miss Simone's voice just now. Don't tell me she's come to shut the circulation survey group down once and for all. Oh, Simone. I forgot about her. I think she's Miss Lucy's assistant, yeah? Inside the observation room, the assistant stands before the circulation survey group's only 2 members. Rachel. Which is it? Good news? Bad news? Or something in between?
Rachel.
I don't want to even try to pronounce this. Todos les memes. Or memes. Just let Miss Simone speak. It's Marguerite. I'm sure she'll tell us whatever the case may be. It's a tepid attempt at calming her colleague. It's a tepid attempt at calming her colleague, and it predictably falls flat. I know, it's either spectacularly good news or catastrophically bad news. There's no middle ground. Rachel, Marguerite, I have good news. The pre-storm atmospheric and oceanic circulation survey group's field research proposal has been approved.
That's great.
That is excellent.
Finally.
We can finally begin preparations for our first field study. But her colleague seems hung up on something entirely different.
Aha!
You know, you're the third person to ever say our project's entire name correctly. Does that mean Applause is finally going to give us the attention we deserve? Dare I dream that you might even increase our budget? I'm afraid not.
Brilliant!
Fine, but at least tell me that all those pamphlets I sent out paid off. I even mailed copies to our partner labs. Putting your hair's breadth away from violating the Storm's confidentiality agreement, you should know better than to reveal that kind of sensitive information without approval. Nevertheless, they did achieve their intended effect. Huh? Really? What do you mean? We've received a transfer application from a researcher at the South Wales Meteorological Center. She's expressed interest in joining the Circulation Survey group. Marguerite, you might be familiar with her. She attended Cambridge around the same time you did. Is that so?
I'm glad.
Well, it's a big university, but who knows? It could be nice to see a familiar face. The mild-mannered researcher wears her usual smile, though her actual emotions beneath are harder to read because, well, we only know how she actually feels yet. She doesn't really show herself. Come in! Hold on. The Pre-Storm Atmospheric and Oceanic Circulation Survey Group. Is this the right place? Let me take a look at you. You are neither new, I don't think you are useful, but are we going to have to see you in future content? Who knows? You are fine.
Aha!
Absolutely! And now you're the fourth person to ever go... You're now the fourth person to ever get our full name right. Welcome to the team. The enthusiastic one is our group leader, Rachel, and I'm... The newcomer's eyes swivel to the ash-blonde researcher and then hold a long stare. A brief silence follows. Marguerite, it's been a long time. You might not remember my name. Call me Colwall. Please, have a seat. I'll outline the specifics. Although your field expedition has been approved, we believe your safety protocols require further revision. For example, your evacuation has to be set 8 hours before the storm countdown ends. We can't justify leaving it any closer. But the Timekeeper's storm warning only gives us 24 hours. That won't give us much time to observe the storm's effects. Could do 1 hour instead? 2 maybe? Researcher safety must be placed above all else. This new requirement comes directly from the staff committee. We cannot afford to lose any more of our people to the storm. The staff committee's concerns are justified. The current evacuation plan does have us leaving with very little time to spare. I understand your desire to have as much observational data as possible, Researcher Rachel, but we can't afford to put you in danger. Marguerite, I trust you to show more patience in this matter. I hope you might be able to guide our colleague here to a more reasonable conclusion.
I will.
I'll do my best.
Even so.
I may not have the same sudden flashes of brilliance my colleagues do, but you know my documentation is always meticulous. A perfectly measured hint of embarrassment crosses her face. There aren't many researchers left at the LSCC approaching the storm. From the perspective of natural phenomena, one of them has been locked up in his laboratory since the first storm, only with a bottle for company. While I'm sure neither of you wants to end up in the same position, that doesn't mean you can or should expect accommodation in every matter, especially when it comes to safety. A brilliant physicist's entire world undone by the storm is hardly an unusual tale.
Understood.
I understand, Miss Simone. Perhaps I might be able to assist. I wrote more than a few safety manuals from my old laboratory. Thank you, everyone. Now, Rachel, I need you to accompany me to collect some manuals and documentation for your new colleague. Are you free right now? I still have some meteorological data to... We can organize that data for you. I'm sure Miss Cornwall could use a good introductory assignment. In that case, let's get going. I won't be long.
I will.
No need to rush back. What does she have planned here? A single door separates noise from silence. Marguerite gathers the scattered drafts on the desk while the new researcher watches. You've changed. Have I? She casts a light and fleeting glance toward the quiet newcomer before her. Unremarkable at best, no significant achievements. We sometimes forget she's even there. That's what they say about you, you know? Gentle, meek, harmlessly ineffectual. Sounds nothing like the woman I knew from Cambridge. Marguerite turns. She holds a smile in an exact curve, like a mask welded in place, provoking a sharp reaction from Cornwall. I see. Well, it isn't the worst assessment. I'm surprised you still remember me.
I'm glad.
But I'm glad to see you're here all the same. Nice to know a fellow alumna also made it through the storm. Spare me the pleasantries. We weren't close, and this isn't some long-awaited reunion.
Sorry.
I apologize. If you're not in the mood for small talk, then what would you like to discuss? Her frozen smile remains unwavering. You remember Annie, don't you? From Professor Ludwig's class? You remember, don't you? She followed you around like a shadow for a long while. She worked with you on that meteorological projection study. And then one day, they found her dead on a footpath. Her collar was covered with dew. Why bring up something awful like that? As I recall, you and Annie were not particularly close. No, we weren't close. A faint concealed sorrow passes across the researcher's face.
But,
Marguerite, I need to know, what really happened to Annie? More mysteries begetting more mysteries with this one. Well, I don't think I'll ever truly understand Marguerite or Lorentz Butterfly. What is pride? We'll try to figure it out. Welcome to Cambridge, guys. Cambridge University, 1987. A cold, damp wind brushes the treetops. As the lectern, Professor Ludwig pauses, momentarily distracted by the rustling. In short, even a system ruled by fixed equations can produce outcomes that appear entirely chaotic. It feels like reading the phenomenology of spirit. Precision so dense it leaves you lightheaded. To be clear, I am not assigning you any additional philosophy reading. That will be all for today. The class disperses. As he collects his papers, he observes a small cluster of students lingering. Marguerite? Professor Thoth. Thoth? What an absurdity. I don't even look like an ibis. Humorous nicknames aside, I'm curious, it's been a while since you've transferred to my class. How are you adjusting? Everything's going well, thanks to you. As for my coursework, I believe my research reports speak for themselves. The student before him explains with an air of nonchalance. Yes, on the atmospheric neutrino anomaly and its implications for oscillation models. An excellent paper indeed. Objectively speaking, it is somewhat ahead of its time. Still, physics ought not regress simply because the era lags behind. It appears you've adapted not only academically, but to this era as well. My concern was unnecessary. This era? She turns the unexpected phrase over in her mind. Oh, you haven't forgotten what happened in 1999. To teach philosophy is the most absurd profession in the world. That is precisely why I stand here today. in the capacity of a visiting physics lecturer. Cambridge has taken an interest in the research underway at Laplace's plastics branch. I'm always having trouble trying to pronounce that name. Damn it, Plesetsk. And extended an invitation for me to teach when time permits. The events of 1999 can cut short my appointment, and with it my chance to sponsor you. I am pleased to see you also survived the storm. You're not curious to know how I survived? Would such knowledge alter your academic progress? Of course not. Then it's none of my concern. There's a lecture on aerospace experiments at the orbital station next week. You're welcome to sit in. Thank you for the invitation, Professor Thoth. Your unique humor strikes again, Marguerite. 3 o'clock, Tuesday. Once assured she has noted the details, the avian professor inclines his head courteously and departs. Goodbye, Professor Ludwig. For such a grand enigma, I do hope your every appearance brings a new puzzle with it. Things would be rather dull otherwise. The transfer student looks over the equations and notes on the board with a vacant expression. Did you need something? You've been eavesdropping back there for a while now. A figure rises from her seat, visibly flustered. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I'm Annie. You're Marguerite, aren't you? The one who wrote on the atmospheric neutrino anomaly and its implications for the oscillation models? Marguerite looks up and studies the girl, addressing her. In an instant, she gathers what she needs: background, age, circumstances, temperament. Gentle, timid, and in all respects, a model student. Excessively empathetic, poor personal boundaries, a comfortable but ignoble upbringing, socially isolated due to her family's scandalous greed. These traits combine to form the girl standing in front of her, and she is not having an easy time with life here. They all say you're a genius. You transferred in without any proper prior studies and still managed to write a paper like that. I read your report. It was incredible. I really admire you. There's no shortage of geniuses in this place. The transfer student glances at the notebook on the desk. Her attention is not difficult to discern. A fine leather cover, meticulous notes, at the bottom, Thursday, 3 o'clock. She says nothing, simply waiting for the girl to finish her performance. About the lecture Professor Ludwig mentioned, if it's alright, could I go with you? Some of the third-year students said there may be paired work involved. Marguerite, I'd like to ask you to go with me. A tentative, unpracticed smile appears on her mask-like face. Another unexpected development. I accept.
Annie.
I fear for this girl. I don't know why. Annie. Whenever she returns to herself, this honey-sweet name has already rolled off her tongue. She was an interesting girl. A sweet girl. What? If you truly followed the matter, then you know the police concluded Annie's death was an accident. She had a congenital heart condition. Tragic, but nothing more.
Don't get me wrong. I wasn't pretending to misread your intention.
Don't misunderstand me. I won't pretend to be oblivious to what you're implying, but I am curious what you're basing this thinly veiled accusation on. You don't strike me as a researcher who speculates without evidence. Colwell studies her new colleague's stoic and composed face. What's troubling you? This is the Laplace Scientific Computing Center. We're in a safe environment. If something is weighing on you, speak it openly so we can resolve any misunderstandings you might have on this matter. Once, after class, I noticed an equation you left on the board. It had nothing to do with the lecture, and it was no ordinary formula. You wrote it boldly across the center of the board, where everyone could see it, as though you were waiting for someone to notice it.
Oh?
And what equation was that? She briskly flips her ash blonde hair back over her ear as if to encourage Colwell to continue. I think it was a model for predicting human behavior. Not just any human, someone you knew well, a particular individual. I think it was for Annie. You were organizing her movements, her decisions, her emotions, her very being, into an iterative mathematical formula. And worse, your equations were complete. They were simple enough for someone like me to understand. What were you intending to do with it? Marguerite feigns an expression between interest and bewilderment. You're suggesting that I modeled an entire person into a single mathematical formula? An intriguing and rather original hypothesis, researcher Colwell. Don't patronize me, Marguerite.
Sorry.
Very well, my apologies. If you truly believe there was some hidden motive or culprit behind Annie's accident... Marguerite stops herself. She reaches among the folders and papers, withdrawing a notebook before handing it over to Colwell. The leather is elegant but aged, the paper tinted yellow with time. Something stirs in Colwell as she takes the notebook and presses it. This is... Neat handwriting, structured lecture notes. Orbital station, 3 o'clock, Thursday. This is Annie's notebook. I don't understand. Why do you have this? This morning, I saw a dispatch list on Simone's desk. The pen name Colwell appeared frequently in Cambridge's student papers. You predicted all of this from the beginning. And this is the clue you were looking for? Colwell hesitates, but the temptation of the truth is too strong to rest on the pride. She takes the notebook and leaves. With Colwell gone and the room empty, Marguerite slides her empty teacup forward. A silver kettle descends from the chandelier, tilts slightly, and pours tea neatly into the cup. Another pinpointedly accurate prediction. I actually put a surprising amount of thought into choosing between the chandelier's mounted kettle release system and the breadcrumb launching file apparatus. The kettle isn't the only thing that descends from above. Soon enough, her hidden colleague lowers himself as well. I do hope the next accident proves more interesting. Whatever you need, just let me know. On that topic, is there any dimension of your current researcher that might benefit from my assistance?
Xavier.
Xavier. You are clearly not here out of concern for my research. Xavier. That name belongs to a stray eagle rescued from some long obliterated ruins.
So?
And it's likely vanished into the storm by now. Consider the name yours now, Javier. Or Xavier. Fine, have it your way. Speaking of eagle, I meant to check how our eager scout has been doing as your assistant. I mean, I was the one that recommended her in the first place. It'd be a real disappointment if she turned out to cause you any trouble. Objectively speaking, she's a good kid, and a competent assistant. If I didn't know that you only handed over her that you only handed her over to me because you were too lazy to teach her properly, your concern might come across more believable. You are well aware that my I hate these words. Pedagogical contributions trend toward the spectacularly impractical. Fucking science. Science terminology is being bullshit. I can't even read that fast. Or at least I can't even read that, well, without messing up my without stuttering. The two institutum infiltrators exchange a knowing glance, silently abandoning the subject. I noticed you've been unusually invested in this circulation group, so I came to spectate this proceedings for myself. You're just looking for a little amusement, aren't you? And your chandelier kettle and breadcrumb launching file apparatus don't qualify as amusement? Our definitions are evidently divergent. Go ahead and keep playing with your boring circulation team, but when you're free, come help me test my jet-powered inverted glider. I intend to be occupied for the foreseeable future. These two are strange. Very strange indeed. As I take a drink from my Mountain Dew. Verification of possibility. Ha ha ha. Oh well. Back in Cambridge. Marguerite! Marguerite! The shouts draw nearer, accompanied by rapid footsteps. Is something the matter? You left so quickly after class. I've been chasing you halfway across campus. I just wanted to say this is amazing. Our project got the highest mark in the class. I know it's mostly because of you. No, the credit belongs to you, Annie. You designed the proposal and handled the data analysis. I merely organized the results. The indifferent transfer student observes the girl with clinical focus. She calibrates the muscles of her own face accordingly. At last, she produces a smile identical to Annie's, a flawless imitation. You're smiling, Margaret. I haven't seen you smile like that before.
Of course.
Why wouldn't I smile? I'm thrilled. There's really so much I can learn from you. Me? What could you possibly learn from me? You possess a certain gentleness, an overabundance of empathy, and such selflessness. A kindness indiscriminate in its application. You think about others constantly, and therefore easily overlooked and undervalued. I've learned a great deal from our time together. I've reached a conclusion. I intend to integrate into this university environment the way you do. That was surprisingly direct. To tell you the truth, you're the first real friend I've made here. Thank you. Thank you, Margaret. But what happened? I'm afraid what happened to her. Thank you, Margaret. It's only been a month since we were approved, and we've already finished our updated fieldwork proposal. Colwell stayed up all night refining the first draft of the safety regulations. Her caution and precision are the real reasons we finally passed review. Thanks to that meticulous framework, we can now set our evacuation to just 90 minutes before the storm. Oh, of course! She deserves equal credit. I should formally thank both of you. You're far too kind. Again, Buenos. I'm just as interested as you are to see where this research leads. There are so few projects here at Laplace that have nothing to do with Arcanum. Within the genuine warmth of this interaction, this pale researcher blends in without the slightest awkwardness. After the storm, most purely scientific teams disbanded. Rachel here might be the last researcher that has maintained a strictly materialist analysis of the phenomenon. Most have already given up, as a physical explanation seemed impossible. Well, I'm glad to know there is at least someone who appreciates my vision.
If a theory is even remotely possible, it's worth putting to the test.
Every hypothesis has its reason for existing, and if it bears the slightest chance of being true, it's worth testing.
It all started with a eureka moment.
Newton and his apple began their journey with a flash of insight. Well, perhaps several. From watching an apple fall to deriving the law of universal gravitation, then reconstructing it under general relativity.
Yes.
Exactly. Proving that science can still explain the post-storm world is my top priority. Do you feel the same, researcher Colwell? a desire to use scientific order to understand apparent chaos. Her near-perfect imitation of a gentle look sent shivers down on Colwell's spine. Oh, you shouldn't ask me. My opinion isn't really relevant. All theoretical research, to me, is just speculation from an ivory tower. I prefer more practical work. A sudden chill falls over their conversation. For a moment, only the scratch of pens and the tapping of keys remain. Ah! Rachel jumps to her feet and pulls the beeping communicator from the top shelf.
What?
This is... The timekeeper just issued the 24-hour countdown to the storm. This is our golden opportunity to observe circulation changes prior to the storm. Something's going to happen to Rachel. I know it. What the hell is this? Tap restore design to randomly place one fragment in the correct position. Drag fragments to their correct positions within the device to finish assembly. Assembly is completed when all fragments are correctly placed. Okay. So I'm building something, right? I think obviously I'm gonna put this here. I think this might go here. I'm just gonna put the obvious ones here and there. Yep. Let's see. Ah! I got it! Ah, puzzles. I do love puzzles. This type of puzzles is what makes me happy. Or at least, what makes me, like, and I enjoy. The masses. Alright. So, puzzles. We got you. I don't know why I say it makes me happy. I do like these types of puzzles. Ow, my arms. I popped my arm again. Final equipment check. Huh? Why won't this component fit right? A pair of warm, dry hands settles over Rachel's trembling shoulders. I'll take care of it.
It's fine.
It was sooner than we expected, but everything is proceeding according to the plan. I'm just nervous. We don't know what changes the storm might bring in the future. Every occurrence is a rare and unique opportunity. She takes a deep breath, forcing her hands to steady.
But
Our equipment here is woefully inadequate. Look at these anemometer cups. Some of them are broken. The field applications approval came on short notice. We've improved as much as we could within our time and budget. And we've done it all in a month on a remote core island in the middle of nowhere, the only place they let us try. The Foundation's local branch had to source this equipment from civilian suppliers. These things are so out of date we might as well be using coconuts. But we're intelligent, resourceful women, we've got this. Alright, now before we set up, I stuffed a handful of compressed biscuits into my pockets and brought a thermos of hot water for tea. The water's still hot, so even if we fail to gather any useful observations, at least we won't starve. Excellent, Researcher Colwell has already taken care of our basic survival needs. At least we have a functional measuring apparatus. As long as this round of data can prove our hypothesis, we'll undoubtedly be able to apply for a thorough follow-up experiment. And while you two deploy the probe out at sea, I'll set up our trade winds and atmospheric pressure monitoring stations. By yourself? That's a long trip up. You know, we could. I work more efficiently alone. She says with such complete certainty that there seems to be no question as she turns and walks out alone. Grab the boy. How's it going? Can you manage things? Do you need my help? You don't need to, Lily. I've got things under control.
Hassan.
You know, Rachel, I've noticed you're unusually tense. Can you blame me? I've been waiting for this moment for a very long time. We've successfully deployed the deep water apparatus, but honestly, I'm more worried about Colwell's working alone. I'd say she's proven reliable, even just in the short time we've worked together. You may be right. Still, have you noticed that she's quite harsh whenever she speaks to you? Not especially, no. She has her own kind of way of speaking. She definitely comes across quite blunt at times. I think that's just the way she is. Even so, I can't shake the feeling that she's especially frosty around you. Am I just imagining things? Indeed. Marguerite returns to her work without giving an immediate answer. A mutual friend of ours from Cambridge died in an accident. For whatever reason, Colwell has always thought I was responsible in some way. How could she possibly think you had anything to do with something like that? But that does explain something. I saw Colwell speaking with the cryptography lead. You know, that fishbowl-headed Wigan? She seemed like she was asking for his help with some equations, maybe decrypting them. Then there's that black leather notebook she's always brooding over at night.
Yes.
I think she means well. She's just trying to verify things for herself.
Marguerite.
Marguerite, I would hope that we can trust one another after all this time. No matter what, I'll stand by you. But I don't want you getting caught up in anything dangerous. Lily, she is dangerous. The water ripples, the boat lies crosswise out on the sea, dividing light from shadow. Without changing her expression, Marguerite drops the buoy into the water, catching a fragment of memory in the dispersing rings. Man, I need to take a nap. Come in. She steps into the office but does not fully close the door behind her. Please, have a seat.
Professor Ludwig.
That won't be necessary, Professor. Professor Ludwig, may I ask you why you wish to see me? I understand your visiting lectureship has concluded. You came all the way from Plessex to Cambridge. I assume you have something important to inform me of? The impatience and emphasis on inner words fail to reach the other side of the desk. The Raven Professor does not answer right away, weighing his choice of words. Pardon me? I had a drink. Marguerite, how have you been adjusting lately? This isn't the first time you've asked that question, Professor. It's not such a terrible opening line, is it now? After all, people and circumstances can change when least expected. For instance, have you encountered any problems with your peers? Perhaps I could offer you some assistance. Exactly the sort of question guaranteed to irritate her.
What is it?
Professor, what exactly are you trying to imply?
If so...
If you are only extending a courtesy, I have no need for it. Then let us dispense with them. Several days ago, at Foundation headquarters, I came across a newly issued warrant from Zeno. An accused deserter whose description seemed oddly familiar to me.
In my opinion...
I'm sure it's only a misunderstanding. It's Annie, isn't it? It's Annie. I'm going to say it. Perhaps, or it may be that you have your own way of dealing with this matter. I don't intend to probe any deeper. I only hope none of this will affect your future studies. You are a natural-born researcher, Margaret. The conversation lapses into a poignant silence, the meaning of the words understated but clear between the two soft-spoken figures. Because of the storm? Because of the storm. I know of a place where you would be exempt from Zeno's scrutiny. Would you be interested in joining the Laplace Scientific Computing Center? As Marguerite leaves the office, she encounters an eavesdropper around the corner. She feigns surprise, although it is anything but. The girl seizes her sleeve anxiously.
What happened?
What is it, Annie? What are you doing here?
Marguerite!
What did Professor Ludwig mean just now? Are you in some kind of danger? You're not leaving Cambridge, are you? Pardon me. The half-crossed door served its intended purpose, just as predicted.
Oh.
Did you hear all of that? I was just coming to find you. They told me you've been called to the professor's office. So I decided I would wait out here for you. I really didn't mean to eavesdrop, but the door wasn't closed.
It's fine.
It's fine, Annie. I don't mind. It wasn't anything confidential. Professor Ludwig offered me a position at the Laplace Scientific Computing Center. If I were to accept, then yes, it would mean leaving. Is there something you wanted to tell me? For a moment, panic flashes across the girl's face. Oh, is that all? A placement at the LSCC really is an excellent opportunity. I've always been curious about how science could align with Arcanum. In any case, congratulations. I haven't made up my mind yet.
If so...
If you are curious about Arcanum technology, you should think about submitting an application too. Oh, I don't think so. Her face pales as she rushes to explain.
I've had enough of all the chaos.
Not that I have anything against it, but I've never enjoyed the disorder that comes from Arcanum. Science is about complete, logical stories, not ambiguous, elusive concepts.
Only deductive analysis can ease my heart.
I decided a long time ago that I would put my trust in only what I could prove through scientific reason. That's the only way I feel safe. An entirely reasonable human perspective. I'm sure they would appreciate someone with a traditional scientific viewpoint. But I'm always so unsure, always second-guessing myself. I can't propose bold, creative hypotheses like real geniuses do. I don't belong somewhere like Laplace. I don't think that's a judgment you should make for yourself, Annie. Oh well, I shouldn't badger you. Wasn't there something you wanted to tell me?
No.
No, it's nothing. She awkwardly folds her hands behind her, concealing something. It looks like a torn scrap of paper. It's just a trivial thing, nothing important. I didn't mean to bother you.
Annie.
Please, Annie, what is it? Did you want to show me something? Just stop asking, Marguerite. Marguerite, I'm begging you. The girl's plea leaves her unmoved.
Show me.
Damn.
Rachel.
And what about you, Rachel?
But...
You know, at this point, I don't think anyone at Laplace agrees with your hypothesis that the storm can be explained through natural phenomena. It's quite remarkable that you persevere despite it all.
Aha!
Ha! Maybe so. But even if no one else agrees with me, does that mean it isn't true? After all, truth belongs in the hands of the brave few. So why not me? I know many people at Laplace think I just refuse to admit natural science has lost its relevance in the face of the storm. I am stubborn, that much I admit. I chose this path, and I'll see it through to the end. Even if it leaves you battered and bleeding, even if it costs me everything. The words hang out for a heartbeat. Marguerite studies the depths of Rachel's pupils.
I see. Understood.
That's admirable, truly. Alright, looks like we're halfway done, but I'm going to take a break for a bit and I'll be right back. Alright, just got back from the break. And moving on to the inevitable sink. Sorry. After finishing the installation of the elevator monitoring equipment, Colwell returns to their temporary outpost. Where's Rachel? Taking temperature readings. She'll be gone for a while. The reply elicits the precise reaction she had anticipated as Colwell marches toward her with purpose. I've deciphered the notebook. I'm surprised it took you so long, though you did make the mistake of asking for that fishbowl's help.
So?
What did you find? Initially, I focused on breaking down the equations in the notebook, searching for patterns concealed behind the figures. And yes, I consulted with Mr. Ulrich. He suspected the entire notebook might be itself a kind of elaborate cipher. But then I realized something on my own. Most of these equations were entirely ordinary, just things Annie must have copied down during lectures. There was nothing remarkable about them at all. No ciphers or hidden secrets. Colwald takes a deep breath. Go on. It seems like you've thought this through. I like to hear it. Then I realized something. All of these notes recorded in Annie's entire academic life. From the equations alone, I could tell what classes she attended each day and what topics she was studying. It's clearer than any timetable. It's also clear that at a certain point, her mental health began to deteriorate sharply. Errors start cropping in her calculations, the margins fill up with corrections. She wasn't able to concentrate in her honor studies. Like I'm trying to not stutter. She wasn't able to concentrate on her studies. Eventually, she made a significant computational error. I suspect that was one of the main reasons her research project fell through. The suffering she once saw on paper now passes through her lips. Something happened to her shortly before her accident. A change in her personality. She wasn't herself anymore. The turning point was a day in late October. That was the day she wrote down your class schedule in her notebook. She was trying to find a time to talk to you. Marguerite, tell me honestly, what did you two talk about that day? Marguerite's expression is unchanged, despite the frank accusation in Cornwall's tone. After one of my classes in October 1987, so much time has passed, I can't recall anything specific. I won't let you brush this off anymore. No need to get upset. I'll answer whatever questions you have truthfully. I did hear that before Annie passed away, she was going through some difficulties. Marguerite observes her colleague's growing frustration, the anger that tugs at every corner of her face. After allowing the silence to stretch, she speaks again with an unhurried pace. I think I remember. Late October. I did see Annie around that time.
I remember.
It was the day Ludwig offered me a position at Laplace. Annie overheard our conversation outside the office, and she reacted rather unusually. I suppose it might have been around at that time that she really started to withdraw. She had no confidant, no mentor she could trust. As far as I could tell, she was quite lonely. And eventually, that led to her accident. So you're saying that because you left, Annie ultimately chose to end her own life? Oh gosh, I should have known there was a trigger warning there. Trigger warning, guys. No, I can't believe that. I simply can't. I may not have known her well, but everything I did know about her tells me she would never have done such a thing. Despite the protests, she can read the doubt and heartbreak in her expression. She's on the back foot.
She longed to break free.
Is it really so difficult to imagine? Maybe she wanted a release from all her troubles. What?
Sorry.
Nothing. I was just speculating. I simply didn't expect that you would arrive at that conclusion. Oh no. Don't you dare try to reverse this back to me. What are you implying? But she can't read anything past her colleague's serene, dead-eyed smile. Unsteady in her conviction, she suddenly feels the urge to withdraw. Enough. I don't want to hear it.
Aha!
Everything's set up outside. The recorder should already be receiving data. Rachel's excited voice cuts through the air, her hopeful energy arriving shortly before she does. Huh? Were you two arguing? Why does it feel colder in here than outside? Not at all, researcher. Researcher Colwell was feeling a little under the weather. I was concerned it might be related to this storm countdown. I'm fine. I'm not showing any symptoms of storm syndrome. We have first aid supplies on hand. If you feel unwell at all, tell me immediately. Wait, what's going on here? Marguerite turns toward the recorder at Rachel's side. It is receiving data transmitted from the deep-water probe. That's a massive fluctuation for such a short interval.
Did something happen?
What happened? What's happening outside? Rachel pulls out a sheet of paper, rapidly converts the signal and sketches a curve. Either the probe is malfunctioning, or we've just detected something extraordinary. They consolidate the data, and Marguerite writes down a set of highly simplified equations. Variables entered, approximation computed. The result is unsettling. This energy value, it resembles a global climatic phase transition. It's difficult not to associate this with the storm. But the probe didn't complete its transmission. How is that possible? Perhaps the sudden shifts in temperature and depth that caused the signal to stall. A worse possibility is that it never resurfaced at all. If that's the case, recovering the probe itself will be extremely difficult. Marguerite, you designed it. What's your assessment? It shouldn't be so fragile that it can't withstand this level of fluctuation. So the probe itself could be trapped down there? The last signal was at coordinate C023. We should try to recover it. I can't see the surface marker at C023. Cowell, is this submersible hydrophone picking up anything? No release signature or air bubbles detected. The cable is fully taut. I pulled on it and it didn't budge. Do I have the right read here? Rachel, what's your assessment? The probe that detected the anomalous signal is stuck. It's stuck at a depth of 36 meters. That's too deep for recovery.
It's fine.
Nonetheless, we've already gathered some extraordinary data. It should keep us occupied for quite some time. Waves roll in under gathering shadows. No one sees Rachel's expression clearly. She glances at her watch, then stares out toward the rolling sea. Researcher Cowell, Marguerite, I'm going to dive down there and retrieve the probe. You're kidding. You have the data. Oh, great. There's another one. Alright, let me see if I can get this top here. Let's see, I'm going to start with the sides here. Let's see. Could fit. This is a start. Could be a start. Ah, there we go. That must be the probe, right? Pardon me. Conjecture and proof.
What?
Have you lost your mind? You don't have the training for a deep dive like that. Besides, our suits aren't even rated for that depth. There's no reason to risk your life over a probe. It's only a bit over 20 meters down. 36 meters. This probe is of critical importance. It's the only instrument that recorded the anomaly. If we can't retrieve the physical unit, we may never get a second chance. This was just our first field expedition with half-baked equipment. Everything is still in its infancy. The recorder clearly captured all the transmitted data leading up to the anomaly. Even without recovering the probe, it will be enough. Why are you trying to get yourself killed? Are you really that naive, Cowell? We both know these remote readings are far too unreliable. If we can't retrieve the unit and calibrate it against the baseline probe, then all we have are isolated readings. They will laugh at us at out of headquarters.
But...
She tries to interrupt, but Rachel, already pulling on her diving suit, continues speaking. Without verification, our analysis becomes a mere hypothesis, or worse, imagination. Even Hardy and Ramun John had to prove their conjectures. I must demonstrate ours beyond any dispute. Every rational doubt must be erased. I need tangible proof.
Science is about complete, logical stories, not ambiguous, elusive whims.
Huh, exactly it. This isn't the time for speeches. The probe might simply be malfunctioning, and this expedition was rushed. We can wait until the next time. If we do, we might never encounter data like that again, like this again. It could be faulty, or it could be real. That's precisely why I need to verify it. Rachel's gaze softens. She looks at Marguerite. You understand me, don't you, Marguerite? I've waited long enough. Her silence is like a mirror, and in it, Rachel seems to see her own conviction reflected. I have always lived my life for science. The history of science is filled with brilliant minds. The modern world is built upon that history. After centuries of ignorance, we finally separated myth from materialism. And then the storm came, and everything's reset to zero. Rachel lifts her head, looking out over the waves, making a final choice in her heart. All those geniuses, mathematicians, and physicists are who decided their entire lives to discovering and defining the laws of the universe. What was all of it for? Plato, Hypatia, Galileo, Darwin. Brilliant minds that struggled against ignorance for the sake of truth.
The history of science cannot be washed away by the storm.
My life, every human life, I can't let that all be washed away by the storm.
I must prove its every word.
I need to prove it still exists. I need to prove all of it.
But
I understand what you're saying, but you need to be alive to. Please stop, Researcher Cowell. Respect my resolve as a scientist. The words are sharp. There's no room for argument anymore.
Is this really the choice you're going to make?
You're certain you want to take this risk? Ha! Yes. It's my choice. It feels like the first real choice I've made since the first storm.
this is my fated duty.
Call it fate. Or maybe call it the deterministic ends of an uncaring universe. I don't care. It's my last chance to justify my life's work. Then I won't stop you. Wait! A surge of anguish detonates in Cowell's mind. She recalls Annie's face swallowed by shadow, and the familiarity terrifies her. Rachel, don't you think this is strange? The timing's too coincidental. Data can be fabricated. Instruments are tamperable. All of this feels so unreal, like someone else was guiding you toward a specific end. What do you mean, Cowell? Are you questioning my scientific integrity? Or are you accusing Marguerite? Don't be ridiculous. I don't know what happened between the two of you back at Cambridge, but I don't have time for this here. It's easy to accuse without evidence. No, Her tongue swells and trips. All she has is intuition, not evidence. I mean that we all know how desperate you are to show science alone is capable of explaining the storm. And now this opportunity, it feels too good to be true, too perfect. Enough. I appreciate your concern, but my decision is made. There's nothing more to say. I'm going to retrieve the probe. Marguerite quickens her pace to catch up. Dusk is falling as they walk side by side along the shore. There is no trace of the storm. In the sea breeze yet, only the stillness of nature. Hey, that paper, samplings of global and regional chaotic energy route changes, you wrote it, didn't you? Marguerite stops walking. They hold each other's gaze for a brief moment. It had to be you. Only someone with a rare genius could have made those calculations. I wonder if anyone else in the world could have figured it out. No one would have expected you of all... No one would have expected you of all people. But I saw it. Your statistical habits are identical. Small patterns in the way you structure data. It's a pity I never asked you to co-author with me. I might have noticed sooner. Lorentz Butterfly is a beautiful pseudonym. I admire the symbolism. The pale researcher's face changes to something rarely seen. She offers a genuine smile.
Yes,
In truth,
I
I
am the
believe...
butterfly of
Yeah.
Institutum Lorentz.
I-
I've never believed that we could unravel the
Never mind.
secrets of the storm
Never
with
mind.
science alone.
Never mind. I was gonna read that. Never mind.
Our goals
Sorry.
are diametrically opposed.
I wouldn't have been as much of a co-author. Our ideals stand in direct opposition. I see. And now I realize why that component didn't fit right either earlier. I assume you modified our probe to fit your own ends? So Lorentz Butterfly, what did you do to it? Nothing substantial. I've only added a module designed to monitor chaotic energy. But there is something else. You know that under our newly safety regulations, we have to leave at least 90 minutes before the storm. That was our compromise. So that's why it didn't surface. Recovering it too early would compromise your observation, just as leaving it down there would compromise mine. Bring it back at the right time, and you'll have my thanks. You mean at the very last moment before the storm sweeps us away? Now I'm curious. What could possibly keep me down there for so long? What else did you leave down there?
Don't worry.
I've ensured you'll have sufficient oxygen. You better add me as a co-author on your next paper. The words don't land right. Too bitter for a joke. Too genuine for a bard.
Rachel,
I'm afraid your contribution wouldn't warrant co-authorship, Rachel. I'd like to think Rachel in my life might earn a footnote at least. But it doesn't matter now, Marguerite. Countless times you stood firmly, unconditionally, by my side. Now I'll do the same for you.
Farewell, dear Marguerite.
Her path lies before her. She refuses to wait another second. Oh, here we go. At least I can do much here. Let's see. I'm gonna get the minimals here. What the hell? Okay. Let's see. I remember this goes to the bottom here. No. There we are. Right. Got the top part now. And there we go. Okay. The hidden scar. Alright. Moving on, moving on, moving on. A severed rope lies wet at the center of the table. It once tethered Rachel's diving suit. Kowal's every suspicion proved true, and now she sits on the desolate island with the accused. I don't understand why she did it. It was suicide. Marguerite looks over to her without expression. She was prepared to sacrifice herself for her research. In this era where the storm has stripped science of its meaning, it was her last stand for reason over chaos. Why would you think of stopping her? If she dies because of this, it'll be the end of everything. No future, no possibility, nothing. Was Annie's accident like this as well? Does it matter? Would you want to hear the answer, even if it might destroy you?
yes.
Of course. This isn't the first time you've implied there's more to her accident. Speak plainly. Have I made any implications, or have you just been trying to read suspicion into my answers? You want Annie's death to be something other than an accident? You want a culprit to hold responsible? When it comes to Annie, you've never asked me for the truth. Kowal clenches her fist.
Sorry.
Oh, forgive me. I finally remembered what else happened that day. That day in late October 1987. The day Annie came to see me. The turning point, as you call it. She pauses, smiling, waiting for Colwell to ask. What happened? She lets the question hang in the air. Then, as if to toy with her, answers with a question of her own. Do you remember how I correctly predicted that you were coming to Laplace? You said you saw the dispatch list on Simone's desk. My destination was on it. And I'd used that alias to publish a few pieces in the Cambridge student papers. Your memory serves you well. Maybe you remember all the trouble Annie had after those scandals involving her family's business became public. She said her parents' business dealings were just the beginning. They were walking on thin ice with the law and with the tabloids. She wouldn't dare comment on anything political at school or even the slightest bit controversial. So she stayed quiet. Anything to stay under the radar. Now that I think about it, that month must have been a significant time for you as well.
I remember.
I recall that was the first time the name Colwell appeared in the campus papers. Pardon me? 1987. Just stop asking, Marguerite. I'm begging you. She pleads, but the girl before her, her only friend, remains unmoved, pressing her to expose the wound instead.
Show me.
What did you bring me? With barely any effort, Marguerite snatches the scrap up from her hands. In the struggle, the paper is torn into pieces and scatters across the floor. A corner of the latest student newspaper. I remember the hunger and the cold. I remember the cold dust on my father's hands. I remember my mother's sobbing cries when news of my father's death came. I remember the rage that crushed me into the earth with the weight of a mountain. Oh, a piece written by a student from a mining family. Both her parents passed away 2 years ago. That name, how fitting, like a wall of coal rising from the excavation pit, faintly luminous in the dark.
Annie.
Annie, would you care to explain what's going on? The girl before her shivers fearfully, her hands trembling at her side. People think I'm just as responsible for their deaths as my father. They think of me as a monster, or at best, as a child of monsters. I don't blame Colwell. It's been like this since people found out about them. I've been painted with the same brush. They look at me and see a spoiled brat given everything by the worst kind of dirty, dangerous, and exploitive industry. All this article did was give them an excuse to unleash their hatred. It doesn't change anything. I don't know what to do, Marguerite. I'm not sure if I blame them, but I didn't choose my family any more than they chose theirs. No one chooses their circumstances. I saw Colwell today. I don't think she even noticed me as I walked by.
Those were precious lives, all lost before my eyes.
Seeing her, knowing what she's been through, I don't feel like I deserve anything that I have here. I can't look at her without feeling like I was the one who let her father die and killed her mother with all that grief and pain. She had to fight for a full scholarship just for a chance to stand on equal footing with me. So maybe I deserve all of that scorn. Maybe that's just what I get for benefiting from her pain. Her trembling hands slow with exhaustion. I'm sorry, Marguerite. I shouldn't have troubled you with any of this. You must think I'm being ridiculous. I should go. I should never have bothered you in the first place. She turns and slinks away, looking as pale as a phantom. Night has fallen as their evacuation timer continues to tick down. In their tiny outpost, Colwell reels back, inadvertently knocking over a chair. I never spoke to her after that day.
Even so.
I suppose I did take notice of her change of behavior, but I didn't see how it concerned me. She never reached out to me at any rate. Annie, she was sweet, really. Probably too sensitive, but kind. Then a few weeks later, there was a theft in the lab building. Sensitive medical compounds, among them the kind necessary to induce cardiac arrest. Who can say? It may only have been a coincidence. Colwell struggles, suddenly feeling choked with some unrealized emotion. I never meant to make her feel that way. I was bitter, of course, but I never blamed her for what happened. I just didn't want people to forget what happened to my parents. Was it me? Did I cause Annie's death? No conspiracy. No hidden manipulation. Just me. The other woman shrugs. You were so unsettled by the idea that her death was an accident.
Oh.
Strange. All this time, you've thought I must be guilty in some way. But it's never one thread that pulls the noose. Everything is connected. Every word, every action shapes the next, like the flapping of a butterfly's wings. But Annie said it well. No one chooses their circumstances. You couldn't have known that penning a touching memorial to your family would light the fuse that led to her demise. But then, perhaps on some subconscious level, you sensed there was more. That unease you felt led you to look for a culprit. To Annie's only friend, a reclusive transfer student with an unclear past and a habit of writing strange equations on blackboards. It was my indifference that allowed all of this to happen. Because I let them torture her for something she couldn't change.
But
that still doesn't explain everything. That equation you wrote, I swear it was modeling Annie's behavior. That's why I suspected you. A chill spreads through her body. Wait, that equation. You wrote it for me to see, didn't you? Right down to my first day at Laplace. You predicted all of this, didn't you? So what the hell is this? You let me think I was acting on my conscience? That I was searching for the truth? And all the while I was just acting out of a formula you had already solved. A study of human behavior and decision making? But I wasn't even the data. I was the proof. A walking replication.
But
why? Why would you do this? And what about Rachel? What role did she serve in this sick formula of yours? I encourage you to solve that for yourself. The answer is quite simple, but I would hate to interrupt your process. Confusion, disbelief, incomprehension. But she excels at solving problems and eliminating impossibilities. Setting aside the risk Rachel faced and all the elaborate staging, your ultimate goal was to delay the probe's retrieval. You let her go out there just to make sure you got reliable data. Her conclusion defies all reason, yet it seems to be true. So all of it was to prove your theories about the storm? She lets Colwell study her face without an answer. And in return, she reads from her an unprecedented mixture of danger and exhilaration.
You seem upset. You are powerless.
You see.
Alright. I'll give you an opportunity.
Okay. So, you seem upset by this outcome. Allow me to offer you a remedy. This is our teleport disc, the only means we have of returning safely to Laplace. Why would I give you it? Can you figure out my motive? I trust you can, and I'm going to make this into my thumbnail because I do like it. It does look good.
Now, make your choice.
Yeah, the decision is yours.
You could choose to leave me stranded here in the storm, to punish me without worrying about morals or laws.
Leave me here to face the storm. In this one moment, damn mouse, you have the chance to pass society, morality, and the law. Pass judgment as you see fit. Or allow me to return safely to Laplace with you and see whether your hypothesis is correct. You're completely insane. A monster impossible to comprehend.
What will you do?
Well, what will you do? What will you do indeed, huh? Alright, our final one. Hopefully we can do the survey before we can do the puzzle. after. Not too sure. The storm descends once more, eroding the remnants of 1987. Inside the Laplace Scientific Computing Center, some researchers pause their work and stare at the absurd, distorted world outside. Others move faster, seizing this rare window to conduct experiments. The storm. She casts a detached glance at the others and continues, not once breaking her stride. So what choice did she make? Only a few weeks have passed since she joined Laplace. She's still considered a newcomer. But recently, something has changed. She uncovered a secret hidden within Laplace.
Interesting.
Here it is. Archives related to chaos theory. The contents are riddled with errors, almost comically deliberate and unlikely to draw anyone's attention. Yet why hide an elegant riddle here? It stands in stark contrast to this file's mediocrity. Who could possibly decipher such a riddle, especially without any real grounding in chaos theory? Only someone utterly bored with everything Laplace has to offer. Pardon me? It does not take her long to filter out the interference and reach the answer.
Oh?
Are these coordinates? She invokes an arcane skill, attempting to contact a faraway place. But words speak. The first thing to emerge from the other end is a fragrance steeped in the scent of tears. Oh, so someone found the coordinates at last. You're the very first to decipher the puzzle I concealed within Laplace. It wasn't much of a challenge. Ha! Perhaps so, but once you consider the surrounding challenges, it becomes significantly more difficult. For instance, it was hidden in a neglected file, one riddled with errors and liable to deletion at any time. And chaos theory stands in direct opposition to Laplace's doctrine. So who exactly are you, madam? My name and identity are irrelevant. I have lived for a very long time, and such labels are no longer matter to me. I am no longer within the Laplace Scientific Computing Center, nor am I under the Foundation's jurisdiction. I left those coordinates to invite you into a secret society hidden within Laplace, Institutum Lorentz. Tell me, dear, would you like to find the very first butterfly that caused the storm to fall? I guess that's how she got the name Butterfly. The storm and the first circulation observation end abruptly. Beyond the ICU doors, Colwell and Ulrich stand vigil over a sleeping figure. Will she recover? I'm afraid I have no more insight on that account than you do. The medical personnel have relayed to me that Rachel was suffering from a severe oxygen toxicity, resulting in severe respiratory distress and retinal damage. She hasn't been responsive to any attempt to wake her. In short, she's in a coma. So she's alive, but in a coma. Her monitoring equipment indicates that during the probe's recovery, she experienced some kind of unforeseen underwater accident. Something severed the instrument's cable, causing it to float several hundred meters away from its original coordinates. It greatly delayed our recovery time. There's no explaining how. We might as well conclude a shark decided to take it as a chew toy. The truth of the matter will have to wait until she regains consciousness. She is also exhibiting mild symptoms of storm syndrome. Fortunately, the observation point was far from the epicenter of the storm, though thankfully her distance from the epicenter greatly reduced its effects. She handled it well. Fortunate indeed. Perhaps that too was part of the design. The ferrofluid does not grasp her meaning. This kind of work is simply unsuitable to fragile humans. Mr. Ulrich, I would not wish for even you, an awakened, to violate protocol by returning to safety at the very last moment before the storm falls. All for a single set of data. The ferrofluid rests placidly at the center of his helmet. But there are certain dangerous tasks we have no choice but to undertake, and we Awakened are simply better equipped. Let's hope researcher Rachel wakes up soon. Otherwise, our natural physics department may be reduced to just Adler. One may as well just declare the whole thing defunct. Now then, I'm off to read Lorentz Butterfly's latest paper. She's calculated several coordinates where supernatural phenomena may occur, suggesting a connection to the core mechanism of the storm. Though I really do wonder how these provocative letters always manage to bypass security and end up on my desk. Supernatural phenomena. That is indeed a complete direction. A compelling direction. Ulrich turns toward her in a sideways glance. You surprised me, Colwell. I thought you had little interest in exploring the Arcanum theory. Well, I've simply come to understand something. Her true objective is surprisingly simple. The words bounce off of his glass exterior without understanding. Who do you mean? Lorentz Butterfly? Forget it. Mr. Ulrich, if I had no interest in Arcanum theory whatsoever, I would never have joined Laplace. After all, the storm is unquestionably an arcane phenomenon.
But
I don't believe science has become obsolete in the face of that fact. The rules of the universe have simply changed beyond recognition. It's time for science to embark on a new path. By integrating Arcanum? Exactly. In that much we are agreed. At Laplace, most consider Institutum Lorentz an affront to science. I, however, remain undecided. As Lorentz Butterfly wrote in her letter,
Only through pneuma can we understand chaotic energy. Only by monitoring the ebb and flow of chaotic energy can we measure the storm.
I don't entirely understand her methodology, but it may yet reveal the truth of our world. I'm curious about this Lorentz Butterfly. What sort of person do you think she is? Colwell gazes at her sleeping companion beyond the glass in quiet contemplation.
a genius, unbound by rules or limitations.
A genius, one unconstrained by rules, norms, maybe even basic manners, but a genius that much no one can deny. Yeah, I guess Lorentz Butterfly does things her own way. Predicting, making sure that, everything goes under her calculation and plan here and there. Alright, so before I end the video here, let's go to her survey. You may have already seen her gameplay in the stage here. So, support, lingering glow, DPS, and rewrite. So, non-periodic flow, communist lingering glow. Then blood. So, she's exclusive with blood type, maybe. Whenever an enemy is afflicted with burn or halo. Okay. So, what's this? The unstable dynamical system. Perhaps chaos is the most unnatural interpretation and resistance to fate. So continuous action, I guess, gets us more action points, yes. It prints precast incantation, so it's rare as an incantation of the same name. At the end of the round, all used precast incantations are removed, okay. Let's see. Okay. Alright. I think we're good.
Ich werde meine Pflicht erfüllen.
So, she can either work with her and her. I never really got Martha, which is disappointing. Let's just do all three, I guess. Alright.
Let me handle the pain.
The true nature of chaos.
Restraint is part of the training. It is here. Peace and quiet.
Alright.
Fun, is it?
I'm just learning everything here and there.
Please, stop this violence. Mon officier n'est pas un capitaine. joy. There's strength in restraint. I'm no stranger to pain. Dérive dans le flot des séphirotes.
All it takes are some minor changes to the initial condition.
Invitation to print. I guess we could do this one, I guess.
Ich schwor, zu beschützen und zu helfen.
The overflow of the Sephiroth. Could the flap of a butterfly's wings in Brazil stir a tornado in Texas?
So it just prints them.
I will remember your names.
I was really looking forward to trying to get Martha or Marsha. To go with Sentinel. But it seems fate decides it's not worth it. Damn.
Peace and quiet.
Oh, damn. Okay, so...
I can hear it is here. I can hear it. It is here.
I get a lot of precasts. Holy crap.
Let me limit the pain.
Alright.
Comme l'a scellé le destin.
Let's see.
A glimpse beneath the veil.
Guys, have a lot of burn here. Wow, I just didn't know that all do all precasts here. I'm just stacking burn here.
A sacred charge.
The tremors of fate.
Cet entour révèle les séphirotes. I'm no stranger to pain. There's strength in restraint. Restraint ist hart. I can hear it. What a touch. Schwor, zu beschützen und zu helfen. A necessary counterattack. Oh, this silence. Soffocail sangue. Soffocail sangue. I will remember your name.
Unless I'm doing things wrong, I'm honestly not too sure. But it's burning.
I'm no stranger to pain. A sacred charge.
Let's see, we'll do this. We can...
The true all it takes are some minor changes to the initial condition.
Let's see. We'll probably do this one, I guess. And...
It is here.
Yeah.
Sensitive to initial conditions. Could the flap of a butterfly's wings in Brazil
So she could
stir a
just
tornado
replicate
in
skills,
Texas?
I know that for sure. Maybe? I don't know.
Winterstürme wickeln den Wundermond. There's strength in restraint.
Okay. Damn, alright.
A new toy. The true nature of chaos.
just stay
A
here.
glimpse beneath the veil. What a time.
And you the true nature of chaos.
Derive dans le flot des Sephiroth.
Let's try this.
Zu beschützen und
Real
zu
one.
helfen.
Oh, I do like that look on your face.
Alright. See how far this
Let's
damage will
press the
go.
trigger.
Cet entour révèle les Sephiroth.
I hope the big damage can come in.
Soffoca il sangue. Ti soffoca il sangue.
And there it goes. Damn.
Voilà donc succès.
I mean, I like the idea of duplicating, I guess, skills. Now I can see why they like Lorentz Butterfly a bit more. But I want to know about Ramona, though. So that's it for, that's it. There's no hidden puzzles or anything. That's just it. So that's it for Counterpoint of Life and Death of Lorentz Butterfly. Well, not really Life and Death of Lorentz Butterfly story. That was an interesting side story, bit there and there. I still don't understand the way Lorentz Butterfly's way of thinking, but one thing's for sure. I mean, she always gets where she needs to go, or where she always finds her way, or I don't know how to say this. The one mystery that leads something. Like I think the concept was the butterfly effect, right? If you're following that, like one choice causes a consequence of an action, you know? It just says it, like Colwell just wrote a paper about her family, but it ultimately says, oh, I read this. Let's go bully the hell out of that other girl because she is the daughter of that family. What an asshole, you know? Yeah, and yeah, it's sad but true. It may be intended as a memorial, just for remembrance, but it can also lead to an action that can be a severe consequence to the other party. Like, you don't get to choose who you're born with. You don't get to choose a family name. You don't choose a birthplace. You don't choose a way how you were born. And, wow. Honestly, I never would have thought that the equation would be just for Colwell and not Annie. Well, I'm actually glad that no one died in this one except, well, no one died in the present in the story. Well, something that happened years ago in the past here. Now, I don't know much about Colwell, but I don't know for sure if we're going to be seeing Colwell more as a side character or as an actual play. I don't think she's a playable. She's a human being. I know for sure. But as a side character, somewhere in along the new content, or maybe. So, I better stop before I continue on. So, I'm not sure what to do here, but I think what I'm going to do after this is Centurion's anecdote. So, I guess we'll end it here. So, as always, thank you all for watching this video, and I really hope you guys really enjoyed this video. And if you did enjoy the video, remember to leave a like in the video if you enjoyed it. Comments are there if you have anything to say about the story itself, the video itself. And if you have any theories about Lorentz Butterfly, please put your theories in the comment section down below, as I'm trying to understand her a bit more. I may not fully understand her, but that's the beauty of it. So, yeah. Funny enough that Centurion is only has minor screen time in the event. And I love her voice actress, man. And I really, really would think I would really want to get her character, because I do love escape artists, magicians, or whatever. And I really want to see what makes her tick. And what's the story behind that lucky coin? Who knows? So, where was I before I cut myself short? Yeah. And if you wish to support my channel, please, the subscribe button is there to click. Just click the subscribe button to support my channel if you have not done so, or if you are new to the channel. And the notification bell is there if you want to be notified when I upload my videos. Like I said, I like to take my time with editing without any regard with editing my videos. It may take a few days, maybe a single day if the game is short, if the video is short. I don't like to do it overly edit things. I just do necessary edits just to make sure the video is, well, how I really genuinely play the game. So, that being said, I hope you guys really have enjoyed your good weekend. It is summer right now, so I have a summer-themed video in Zenless Zone Zero in the making. Well, technically, I've already uploaded it, but I haven't made some finishing touches on the edit. So I guess you'll see it in the future after this video. So, without that, well, till then, have an awesome weekend, see you in the summer, and see you in the next video, so bye!